Let's begin there, episode 19. Our everyday game changer for today is someone who calls herself a common girl who loves to dance, is so passionate about dancing that even though she has her own career running, she makes sure that she's taking out time from it to join workshops and learn different dance styles. She loves to be active and she loves to interact with people, have healthy conversations with them, and of course, create food. She is our everyday game changer, Anuja Agarwal, who has moved from India to Canada and is now uh, settling up her life and living the way she wants to in Canada. I've known her for about 15 years or maybe 20, and I have seen her grow from a particular person to now who she is right now. And she's always been active. If you have a conversation with her, you'll realize how comfortable she makes anyone feel. And she's always had her inner child active, always there. You can see it in her eyes and the way she has conversation and the way she loves. Today, we have brought her on board on Let's Begin There to share her struggles, her journey, and how she has overcome some of the aspects about her life. But what is Let's Begin There series? Let's Begin There is a platform where you come and share and realize that even though each one of us are going through struggles, but the struggles mean something. It is to look at struggles from a positive perspective rather than thinking of it from a negative connotation. So, in Let's Begin Their series, everyday game changers come and share their stories of what their everyday struggles look like. What do they do in order to overcome them? What was the point at which they realize, okay, something needs to change, they need to do something, and actively working on it. What happens with this is you realize that you're not alone in your struggles because somewhere your struggles will connect with their struggles and you will know what are others doing. It's not necessary how you cope with a certain problem is the same way the other person is coping with the problem. So it's like a healthy exchange of ideas and share of ideas. And so for this, our today's 19th everyday game changer is Anuja Agarwal. She has joined us, and I will just invite her to be live with. Hi, Anuja.
Hey, hi, how are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just gonna adjust my volume.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but the video is stuck a little bit. Yeah, I can see you now. How are you? I'm so excited to see you.
Okay, perfect. I'm good. I'm good. I'm also very excited to see you. I know I'm actually meeting you digitally first time here in India after coming back because
Yeah.
I'm on a vacation here and it's kind of funny because I should actually be meeting you in person, but we'll meet
We will meet as well. Yes, definitely. So, Anuja, I gave a little bit just about you and what your journey has been like, but why don't you introduce yourself to us?
Yeah, for sure. So, firstly, I'm very excited to be here. I was more than happy to come and speak to you and your clients and your followers because, like, I've also known you for a long time. I've known you as a friend and a family member. So, very excited to be here. A little bit about myself. My name is Anuja Agarwal, and am an all in all Bombay girl. I've been living in Canada since the past 4 years. So I'm also from Canada right now. Like now, my educational background is that I am a master in marketing. So I have a business degree in marketing. And right now I actually not study, I work as a product manager, which for an e-commerce company back in Canada. And what
Mm-hmm.
product managers really do is that we work on software products and we work with engineers and business just to
Mm.
solve customer problems with software. So that's what I do right now for work.
Wow.
And
Mm.
apart from that, on an, like outside of work, I like dancing. I like just being active, going out, eating good food, and
Mm.
yeah, just fun things. So like just like
Mm.
any other person.
Among the many things that I admire about you, the first one definitely is I love how you take out time for what you're truly passionate about, like your true hobby. And that truly inspires me. Like, wow, she's moved to another country, but she has stayed consistent with her passion. She's not letting it go. So it's amazing. Thank you for being
Thank you.
you all the time.
Thank you.
Anuja, so what are some of the struggles that you face in your everyday life?
So when like when I was thinking about this, I feel like my struggles are very typical to a common person, and I
Mm,
would like to think of it as more being self-aware than struggle. Sometimes, of course, I find it hard to understand something, and so the point that I'm trying to make is that my struggles are very common. I think something that I struggle or work on a day-to-day basis is how to keep myself motivated, whether that
mm,
is like for work or whether that is like for my everyday life. How to make sure that I feel that I'm making progress, whether
mm,
like it's on in like whether it's about cooking or whether it's about like just like working on a presentation. And something else that I also am very aware about or like to work on is just to understand how my relationships are doing, whether it's with my
mm.
family or my friends or like people at work. Just trying to understand how is it going, and how am I doing with my relationships also. So those are these three broad areas that I
Mm-hmm.
maybe struggle with or try to work on an everyday basis.
Amazing. And it's interesting how you said that I go through common problems of trying to motivate myself. And another aspect that you've mentioned about trying to maintain the relationship wherever you are, in whichever area you are. Because even though it is, you feel that it is common, trying to motivate yourself, but yet it is so important to keep motivating ourselves, to come up with different ideas, to realize, okay, what is sticking with me, what is not sticking with me, and things like that. So I'm very glad that you've brought this over here on this platform, that your major thoughts are, or your everyday struggle is to consistently motivate yourself and to see how your relationships are doing. So Anuja, at what point did you realize that, okay, something needs to be done? I need to stay motivated on everyday basis, or what made you think, okay, no, I maybe need to focus on the relationship and how things are happening?
Yeah. Um, I can definitely say that it's been close to 6 to 7 years. I think like 2013 or 14 was the time where I found myself doing decently well at work, and being also having
Mm,
access to the kind of things that I want to do, maybe travel or like take up things that I like. And that's the time when I realized that I can take control of my life, and I can try and plan it or do things the way I want to do, and I'm the one who's going to reap benefits of it, and even like people around me. So that's
mm,
maybe like the time where I realized that this is like I should do better for myself, or I should like actively work on myself. That being said, I think just as the person that I am, and the way I was brought up, uh, because of my family and even like people around me, I was always motivated to like try new things and learn on my own and try and fail and like all of those things. So it is
mm,
a mix of like how I was raised and the kind of opportunities I was given, plus
mm,
a little later when I slowly found myself having the resources and access to things, that I told myself that I'm in total control of my life, at least for the things that I can plan. So why not like work on it? And I
mm,
know you asked about motivation. There are a lot of external forces, but I sometimes just find myself being very motivated about something because I have an idea about it in my head, or I want to
mm.
get to a particular place, or I want to achieve something. And when uh, I reach that point, or when I've achieved that, I kind of find myself looking for more. So that's
Mm.
that's the whole thought process about it.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
that's so exciting to hear and so positive the way you have explained it. the way you've been brought up and the kind of experiences you've had, you were always exposed to learning new things. And I loved how you said, try trying to fail
Yeah.
instead of succeed. That it is like, you need to have certain level of understanding to realize it's about failing and then going ahead. Because if we fail, then we go through a process of learning and then we go ahead and become even more successful. So
Yeah.
I loved how you said trying to fail instead of trying to succeed at everything that I'm doing. Wow, it's wonderful. And also that since you have been brought up in the surrounding where you had the opportunity to learn and you were exposed to new things, so it kept you motivated to try new things out. And I love the fact that you mentioned that you get motivated because you have certain ideas in your head already. This is how
Yeah.
it will pan out, this is what you want to do. And when you
Yeah.
actually achieve it, you get even more motivated and excited to accomplish even more or try out new different things.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
Yeah.
so positive right now. Like there is a sudden rush of positivity coming from your end. Like, wow.
No, I have my days too. Like there are days where I don't want to do anything, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what am I doing in my life? But those are days, those
Mm.
pass. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay, since you brought that out that you do have those days, what
yeah.
do you do on those days? How do you deal with those kind of days? If you'd
I
like to
think
share.
it's not a one Yeah, for sure, no problem. I don't think there's a one solution to that
Mm.
I can use. Some days it's just like sucking it up, like go sit in bed, eat ice cream, or some days it's just like going and talking to your people who listen to you, even though they know that there's no solution that
Mm.
you want from them. It's just like someone needs to hear you out. And some days it's actually about like taking a step back and thinking that, hey, you know what, like what's actually happening? Is this like
Mm.
what's making you feel like that, or what's not working, and what can you actually do about it? So
Mm.
it's a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a bunch of things. And so one of the things is to maybe just suck it up, sleep in your bed, or just eat ice cream all day. And on some days, realizing it's only about venting out and talking out. And it is so important to have those kind of people, like you mentioned, the people whom you're just talking it out loud to, and they're just listening, knowing that there is nothing particularly that you want from them, but to know that you just want to share what's going on for you. I would
Yeah.
definitely say you're one of the lucky ones if you are surrounded by people like that.
Yeah, I definitely have people like that. It's mainly your friends and your family that have been around for years, right? And
Yeah,
maybe like some people at work, but you definitely have to be lucky to have people like that for you. Yeah.
yeah. Who are willing to listen to you without giving their inputs. Oh, did you try that? Oh, did you try that? Have you noticed this? Oh, maybe. What about that? It's just
Yeah.
about, okay, calm down. I just wanted to share my thoughts. Okay, I've done that. Please keep your thoughts and opinions to yourself. So that's amazing. And on other days, realizing that you have to step back, the importance of stepping back and just introspecting everything and realizing what is going wrong, what is not going right, and then taking the steps ahead to do
Yeah.
what you want to do. So these are the three
Yeah.
things that you do when you have those kind of days where you don't feel like doing anything or you feel less
Yeah.
motivated. Wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So Anuja, like you mentioned, keeping yourself motivated every day and checking your relationship are some of the everyday struggles that you go through. So what is it that you do to overcome these struggles, or yeah, how do you cope with them?
Uh, I, I do like to think that it might sound very philosophical, but I just think that it's a mindset thing also.
Mm,
I do obviously, like I mentioned, I find it hard sometimes to hold that mindset, but most of the times I feel like I try to tell myself or show myself the reasons of trying or still holding on or even starting something. And
mm,
often, like, you are in situations where things are not going your way, or you don't get the same kind of response as you expected from other people.
mm,
So I think I just like to be be cautious or like be observant about what other people are trying to tell you or teach you or
Mm.
show you, while not being afraid to follow what you want to do, and also like to ask questions, like if you don't really understand, or if you want more information. It sounds very operational right now, like the way I'm putting it, but yeah, like I think those are some of the things that I like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you like perfectly mix the philosophical aspect and the practical aspect, even though being practical and logic is like part of philosophy, but still, yeah, it's about the mindset, like you said, and also how you are dealing with those situations in those particular moments. Like you said, if things are not going how you expected them to be, so just trying to understand what others are saying, or just trying to ask questions about, okay, if you're not getting something, so asking questions, getting all the knowledge and information you want, and continuing to do what you really want to do, even in the situations. And
Yeah.
I also like how, yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I think something that I also want to mention is not always what is it that you want to do, right? Like sometimes you learn on the way, sometimes you change on the way, right? Like what you wanted to do is changing based on the feedback that you receive from people, based on the information that you know. So even if you don't know where you're heading, I don't like. I think what I like to think is just to follow your vision, or even like your feeling behind it,
Mm-hmm.
and not to be afraid to be different. So like I've had this in the past where I've had my friends joke about me and tell me that, oh, the first time when I met Anuja, like she was asking so many questions because we met in a class, and
Mm.
they, and all of those things. But I think if you're not afraid to be different, and if you're not afraid to like follow your feelings and vision, then I think you'll get the perfect um, form of what you were trying to achieve. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds so profound. If you know your vision and if you don't mind being different, then you will always stay aligned with who you want to be, and you will in the process uncover who you are. You learn new things maybe from people's perspective, and it's about going ahead with what is coming in your mind, realizing what's working, what's not working, making the changes in the process, and then going ahead.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. And I'm going to repeat it again. I love how you said that it is about uh, not worrying about being different, being okay to be different, realizing that you are different and it's okay to be different, and that will help you stay connected with your vision too. And in the process, you learn and unlearn things. Wow, amazing, Anuja. Thank you. This is great. Uh, so, how about the relationship aspect? In the sense, you also mentioned that coping with your relationship, or in any aspect, be it your personal life, professional life, how are your relationship doing is one of your everyday struggles too. So, what do you do about that?
I have been a very people's person since the longest time that I've known myself, and even um, the testimony or the feedback that you would get from people around me about me would be like, oh, she has a lot of friends, and like she's always active and all of that. I think over the years I just realized that there are cliches around you, but it only makes sense to you when it makes sense to you, right? So I feel like the people have always been speaking about like priorities, and give time to people who really matter to you and all of that. And it's also a thing about like experience and age, right? Like as you grow you learn better. So I think over the period of time I started to realize my priorities and who my people
Mm,
are, and whether it's my
mm,
family or my close friends or all of that. And I've also started to like pay close attention to quality over quantity. So if I your elder sister is my best friend, so we don't meet like for the people who don't know, like Tanya's elder sister is my best friend. We went to junior college together. We've known each other like for 15 years or more. So we don't meet every day because so busy in our own lives, right? But I think just
Mm.
that one phone call or that 10-minute WhatsApp conversation or that half an hour meet is enough. So, in order to take care of my relationships at
I
yeah,
couldn't hear you for the last bit. Could you
yeah,
repeat that in order to take care of your relationship?
yeah. So, in order to take care of my relationships, or just to be aware about like, is there growth at work, like my professional relationships, or at like at home? I try to be aware of um, um, quality over quantity. So I try to make sure
Mm.
that people who are important to me, my priorities, maybe I'm bad at keeping in touch, but I try to make sure that I'm there when I'm actually required. And also conversations and communication, right? Like I was a person who used to keep a lot to myself, and I still like keep things to myself when I have to. But over the past many years, maybe like 3 to 4 years, I've told myself that I'm going to be more honest and more
Mm.
communicative about like what I feel and what I want. And with the
Mm.
closest people, it's easier, right? Like whether it's at
Yeah.
work or at home, it's just easier to talk to them about your feelings. So it's about like having priorities, making sure you prioritize quality over quantity, and also being like communicative. I think these three things are what I'm trying to do.
Mm. Wow. Okay. So you realized over a point of time that it is about prioritizing, and even though if it is about prioritizing, choosing quality over quantity. And it's not about how often you meet people or how often you talk, but it's about knowing that the other person will be there when you actually need them. It's about having that certainty in your mind that, okay, at any point when I feel that I need to talk to someone, I know this person is there for me, even though we are not interacting on everyday basis. So that is how
Yeah,
you identified your quality relationships, be it at work, be it with friends, be it in your personal life in general. So choosing
yeah,
quality over quantity at any point, and also communicating, sharing what is going on for you, or time to time just being aware, and yeah, effectively communicating to people who are important to you. These are some of the
yeah,
things that you do to keep your relationship in check.
yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Anuja. Um, what is that one thing that you would like to tell our audience? Let's begin with.
I think something that I want to tell everybody is just have fun and
Mm,
stay true to what you're doing, whether
yeah.
it is anything. So I, I think I try to follow that. I try to have fun and I try to do my best.
Mm.
Whether that means my best is maybe like 1 hour someday for a project, or my best is sometimes like 1 year for like a small little thing. So whatever is your best. So I think those are the things that I want to tell them.
Another important thing that you mentioned right now, giving your best does not mean all the time, being concerned, oh, I haven't done my best, oh, I need to do more, because that will usually lead to overwhelm. But it's about realizing you have given your best, and it's okay if it is in less quantities, but in that moment, maybe for 1 hour, maybe you are able to have those days where you're able to give your best throughout the year. But it's important to give your best for a while and not burden yourself with the thought ki, okay, no, I need to give my best at every shot, even though physically or mentally you don't feel ready to do that.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll burn yourself out, right? I've been there. It's a cycle. I still sometimes like find myself really struggling and questioning as to,
Hmm.
oh, why am I not able to do this? Or am I not doing enough for all of that? And I do find myself burning out. But I also cut myself some slack most of the times. And then I'm like, no, I'm just going to not do anything. I'm just going to like take a chill pill, and that's what I could do. That's enough.
And I feel it requires a lot of courage to do that. It requires courage to just be like, okay, I'm not going to do anything about it. Because that means when you say that I'm not going to do anything about it, you are okay by accepting that that particular thing is not in your control. So you're letting that thing go. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of I don't know, sense of self maybe to be able to do that. So congratulations, you have a lot of that. Or at least you're
Thank
giving us
you.
something. Okay, so Anuja says, let's begin by having fun and trying to do your best in whatever ways possible without trying to burn yourself out in any way. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Anuja. I'll open up the space for questions if people have any. And I did get one question from Punk94. I don't know if you know her. Ask
I
her, does she
do.
miss
She's my
anything?
cousin.
Oh,
She's my
she's your cousin.
cousin. Yeah, I did see a lot of my friends join in, and I have another
Hmm.
cousin who's joined in here. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So that's my cousin. Her name is Priyanka.
Okay, Priyanka. So Priyanka is asking you, what do you miss?
What do I miss?
Hmm.
Like in what regards? I'm not too sure about that.
The question is, does she miss anything?
Does she miss anything? Oh yeah, like maybe I can answer this in a couple of ways. When I'm in Canada, I miss all the good street food that's here in India. Where and otherwise, I miss not being able to see people who matter to me so much, right?
Hmm.
Like my cousin. I've not met her for a long time. We just met her like for 5 minutes. Um, and in the past 3 years, I've met her for 5 minutes. I would like to hang around with her more, a little more.
Oh.
So I miss spending time with people I like to be with.
Yeah. Every choice we make have some repercussions, be it
Yeah,
good or bad. Amazing.
I think she just saw this and she
Yeah.
embraced it.
Are you crying happy tears, Priyanka? Okay. Oh, she misses you.
I miss you too.
Lovely. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your experience, the struggles that you're having, and how you've overcome them with us over here, and uh, telling us what you do, and maybe inspiring a lot of us to realize that, okay, you can step back, take some time out, and go ahead.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for calling me in. A little nervous to do this because this is obviously my first time doing something like that. But I'm really glad that I could come and speak to you. And even like for whatever, I know I was also rambling, but for whatever little that I could contribute, I'm very happy for that. And I'll obviously see you in person.
Yes, we are meeting soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Anuja, and thank you everyone for joining us today. We will be uploading this as IGTV. So if you have missed out on the initial part of the conversation, you can always watch it again.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye.
Bye.